Hi, ma'am. I would like to introduce her first. This is Ms. Gauri Sareen, founder of Make Model Gurugram and Sahas and Living Without Medicine. Before I introduce the topic, I would like to introduce her with her words. Ma'am, please, can you tell what all do you do?
Hello. Pleasure to be with all of you. I've come all the way from Gurgaon and it wasn't easy to reach here in time because of an interview just before that. I work in the policy area, I work in the governance area in Gurgaon. And apart from that, so my focus has been urban governance largely. But I have also had an equally important stint and foray in the rural sector. So years ago, I decided that if I give my time to our nation, to living in cities, okay, what living in cities should be like, it should be equally important to focus on what living in city is like with reference to the agriculture sector, with reference to what comes in from the rural sector to us, which is food primarily. So that's how this whole, movement of Bhumija and Living Without Medicine started. And almost about 7 to 8 years I've spent in this, being part of this movement with a lot of community leaders and members across India and the globe, I would say. It's been a fascinating journey. And I'm here to really share this journey with everyone.
Can we have a round of applause for that, please? So I'll start the session with my first question. As you've championed wellness and community-driven mission, how do you define holistic living and how it's a social movement and a personal choice?
So, about 8 years ago, when this whole platform called Bhumija came in, it was introduced to me by a few people, a very few set of people, and this is really a story everyone should listen to. There were people who were going through difficult times as far as their health is concerned. They had personal problems. They had what is called, popularly known as a non-communicable disorder. Some of it they understood, some of them they did not understand. For example, it could be a metabolic disorder like diabetes, but it could be also an autoimmune disorder like arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis. And there was very little understanding of it and people were suffering from it. It was these set of people who really, in my view, are my inspiration. They started by seeing how to bring lifestyle changes for themselves first. And then they wanted to do something for society. तो अपने खुद से शुरू करके दूसरों से करना शुरू किया, बड़े छोटे-छोटे स्केल पे शुरू किया. So I'm talking about 7, 8, 9 years ago, just pre-COVID time, so to speak. And these people started helping many of us see that there is something out there in food which cures. Which is not just to fill our stomach, which is not just to make us, feel that we have, tickled our palates. But there is something which is very medicinal about each food that we take in the right way, at the right time, with the range of diversity which is present for us. Now, some of this food was not accessible. And some of it is, and a lot of it we didn't even know about. It had all started disappearing. And slowly, when people started understanding the linkage of food, what they are taking in with their own disorders or what is going on inside them, I think that was the beginning of this movement. Now, holistic, the word holistic happened when people realized that the physical well-being, the emotional well-being, the mental well-being, and the spiritual well-being are all interconnected. And this is actually what Ayurveda says, and not just Ayurveda. It is what the WHO also says, that you are not healthy until you're healthy at all the 4 levels and that they're all interconnected. So the same people started realizing that if I have to fix my body using, food as medicine, I also have to fix my emotions. I also have to deal with, how I respond to this, to this world outside me, right? So the inside and outside, when they kind of start merging with each other, it becomes holistic.
Yeah.
And that's really the basis of this entire movement of wellness and well-being.
I think before we proceed, I remember having a conversation with Gauriji about Ayurveda, and right now she mentioned about how Ayurveda is a big part of holistic living and how functional nutrition or functional medicine is something we talk about. As you go forward with initiatives like Living Without Medicine, how have you seen those transformations? And can you please tell us what does it all mean? Because a lot of us are not aware.
Okay. So again, going back to 7-8 years ago, the first time when I started understanding what is food, and the impact of food on our health and well-being, and how it can actually target certain disorders and actually reverse disorders if you do it the right way. That first learning actually came from, interestingly, overseas, which was functional medicine. And I got introduced through my platform. So we created a platform called Living Without Medicine, where we connected farmers, agripreneurs, foodpreneurs, all of them organic, chemical-free, diversity-oriented, with consumers across all the cities of India. तो हमने क्या किया? हमने जो sellers हैं और buyers, consumers हैं, उनको जोड़ दिया. But उसके बीच में एक link रह गया. Why would the consumer take it? They were not convinced enough. So they would start making sense of it when they were educated. And how were they educated? Either through this route of functional medicine or nutrition, or through the route of Ayurveda. We first got introduced to functional medicine. अब वेस्ट से हम लोग कोई चीज़ आती है ना, तो हमें बड़ा लगता है कि अरे वाह, ये वेस्ट से है तो कुछ अच्छी चीज़ होएगी. It's researched and there's so much evidence around it and all of that. So interestingly, functional medicine was now emerging to be a very important part of science, because allopaths MDs in the US started realizing कि भाई हमसे तो solve नहीं हो रहा है problem. We are not being able to reverse metabolic diseases by giving medicines. We cannot make people run on metmorphin and thyroxine for the rest of their lives and still not be able to, give them solutions. Right? So there has to be something more to be done. And that's when they started focusing on food as a very targeted way of creating, therapies. So we introduced our first program, Soumya, called Taking Charge of Your Health. This was a 12-week program. We weren't even sure whether anybody will enter this program. And we had a batch of 30. And this batch of 30 was international, right across the globe. And these are all very educated people, and many of them were suffering from very serious autoimmune disorders. I remember there was this lady in the first batch who had an autoimmune, आपने नाम भी नहीं सुना होगा. How many of you have heard of lupus? How many of you have heard of something called lupus? I can see someone at the back. You have? You're a doctor? Heard from people, right? You've heard about lupus, right? I didn't know what was lupus when I first heard this lady say that I'm suffering from lupus. And it was so interesting. I used to handle the emotional part of it, and there was another functional medicine expert who would handle the technical part of it. And he would explain what happens in the body, what goes wrong in the body, how therefore you need to do this in order to reverse what's gone wrong in the body. And I would work on the emotional part. And I had not even heard these technical terms ever in my life. ये autoimmune disorder होता क्या है? ये lupus क्या होता है? And by the way, it's a very debilitating disease. It's a disorder with anyone in the allopathy field will say कि इसका कोई भी इलाज नहीं है. Examples are fibromyalgia. ये सब मैं आपको इसलिए बता रही हूँ क्योंकि आप जाओगे ना, आप लोगों से बात करोगे, बहुत घरों के अंदर ये disorders हैं, जिनके बारे में हमें शायद पता ही नहीं है. हमारे घर में people may be suffering from them and they don't know it's actually this which is going on. This is how allopathy has defined them. So what happened is that we put them through this program and then they started, suddenly the change started happening. We started seeing, emotional breakthroughs. We started seeing people really starting to adopt their lifestyles in a very different way, and we did it very gently. And then we moved on to Ayurveda. We launched a program, probably the first of its kind because I had not come across a program like that before. It was called Ayurveda for Healthy Living. And we taught people, and it was the first time that people started saying, कि मेरा वात दोष है, मेरा पित्त imbalanced है, terms which at that time I didn't even know about. Are you all aware of these terms? How many of you know what is Vat? Great. Vat. There's somebody out there who seems to be half a doctor. Vat, Pitt, and what's the third one? Come on. Kapha, absolutely, right? Now, interestingly, Ayurveda is this science which does not believe that I have to, fix you or cure you. It's a science which actually believes that if you do things the right way, you will never have a disorder, right? And it defines it so scientifically in such a classified manner that anyone who learns the basics of Ayurveda and becomes conscious of it, they can lead their lives in a perfect manner. इसके लिए ताली हो जाए, ये हमारी 5000 से ऊपर पुरानी साइंस है. There is no date to it, but it's at least 5000 years old. Right? So when you started seeing that, all of this can be applied to us, to the normal consumer. Functional medicine can be applied to us, so simple, and we can reverse, we can take, control of our own lives. That's when we saw the power of it. So through this education, we managed to get lots and lots of people across communities and build an entire movement where people empowered themselves to take choices for themselves. And that's the basis of this movement, actually.
Well, that's incredible. But one thing that I noticed, you talked about how you manage the mental part and somebody else was there to manage the physical part. How do you think initiatives like Sahas helps in understanding people integrate their mental well-being, their spiritual well-being, and their physical well-being, and how it can be, further taken from personal choices to actually community empowerment, and how community can help?
How community can help in
promoting wellness.
Promoting wellness. So what, yes, I think I touched on it only briefly. So what we did basically was, as I said, we connected the the suppliers, the people who actually grow, small players in every city, near every city, with the local people. So it was a local movement. I know there's a lot of buzz about going local, etc. We actually made it happen. All right, so vocal for local, so to speak. And when we build these communities, that's the time when people would get convinced that, hey, this is the right way to go for us. They started bringing in more people and more people and more people. And this is how the community really started, building up and empowering itself. And while we did it very hyper-locally, it became a national movement. So today on Facebook, we have thousands of people who are benefiting from it. There are hundreds of people who've actually, taken advantage of these local agripreneurs and eaten really good food. I can say this with a lot of pride, that mere khud ke kitchen mein, there are about 30 varieties of rice. 30 varieties of rice, and each of them is a healthy variety of rice. Come from different parts of India. About 95% of my kitchen does not touch the grocery store at all. 95% of my kitchen, my spices, my vegetables, my fruits, my grocery. And not only that, I just wanted to add another aspect to this movement. The other aspect of the movement which grew was skincare, hair care, and cleansers. All of these have had chemicals and they all affect us, whether we like it or not. So not just what we're consuming inside, what we are applying to ourselves outside affects us also. So this movement is also about that. Now, adding to it is the mental wellness part, which is what you asked me. So, I'm also incidentally associated with the art of living for the past 20 years. And with the whole experience of meditations and how, meditating, how doing Kriya can really start to transform because, and I'm so glad you asked this, Soumya, because my own experience when we ran these programs taking charge of a health or Ayurveda was that it all starts here. And then that here, or our emotions and whatever you may say, they reach the gut. And it's the gut then which causes a lot of the problems. So the link was so straightforward. We didn't even have to, we used to do coaching. We used to do group coaching and individual coaching. And when we used to talk one-on-one with these people, all that they said was clearly connected to the gut. And why they were getting affected, why was the gut really getting affected. So lifestyle is a lot to do with emotional and mental well-being. It's not just about what you eat.
Definitely, I completely agree. You talked about the 30 varieties of rice and a lot of things that you include in your lifestyle now. Initiatives like this, people who are aware, people who are very eager to know would be a part of it like all of us. But as a challenge, as to reach to hyper-locally, to communities that are underpressed, communities that are not very aware, how does the model integrate them? How does it come to them?
Are you talking about the underprivileged people or are you
Yes.
talking about the...
Yes, because holistic living is not just for people
just who are well-to-do.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So I think, great. So how many of you all have heard of moringa? सबने सुना है ना अभी मोरिंगा? अच्छा मुझे एक बात बताइए, 5 साल पहले कितने लोगों ने मोरिंगा के बारे में सुना था? Only drumsticks, right? उसको हम लोग मोरिंगा तो नहीं बोलते थे, drumsticks ही बोलते थे. We didn't know it came from a moringa tree, right? We didn't even know the word sahajan at that time. And I don't know how many of you know, but in South India, many parts of South India use the sahajan leaves in their food, in their curries. Exactly. And so we didn't even know that. Acha, how many of you all know about flax seeds? Everyone does, right? 7, उसका हिंदी किसको पता है? नहीं आप मत बताना. Who knows the Hindi of बता? अलसी ना. आपको पता है बिहार में इसको चटनी में खाया जाता है regularly? Correct? 7 years ago, how many of us had heard of flax seeds? Almost none. 7 years ago. तुमने सुना हुआ था?
Eat it like popcorn.
Because you, correct. Because you probably belong there. Now please understand the traditional and rich diversity we have in our foods. अच्छा, कितने लोगों ने 4 साल पहले A2 बिलोना घी के बारे में सुना था? None of us. अच्छा सुना भी होगा कि घी, नहीं मैं तो घी नहीं खा सकती, मेरा कोलेस्ट्रॉल बढ़ जाएगा. Did we even know 4 years ago that this cholesterol is most important for our brain functioning? We always thought cholesterol is a bad word. Can you see what has happened as a movement in the last 5 years? Complete 180 degrees turn. अच्छा, how many of us had heard of millets? सिर्फ मुझे 5 millets सबने सुना हुआ था, right? जवार और बाजरा सबने सुना हुआ था. Can anyone give me the names of 5 more millets other than jawar and bajra? Ragi, of course, again very popular in Uttarakhand and Himachal. Jawar तो बोल दिया मैंने. Rajgira नहीं, Rajgira is not considered a millet as far as I know. मड़ुआ तो वही है, रागी है. देखो. कोदरो, ठीक है, very good. Again popular in the north. Foxtail, yes. Come on. Brown top. What else? So you must have heard of Dr. Khadarwali, right? So Khadarwali talks about these 5 siridhanya, correct? So millets is something which most of us had not, at least मैंने जिंदगी में कभी नहीं खाया था. ज्वार बाजरा भी खाया होगा. When I was a small kid, I used to live in Gujarat. So they used to have this bajra ki roti and therefore a rotlo. So that's how I used to have it. Otherwise in my life I have never. And this whole movement of millets has completely taken this. I mean, even 5 years ago, trust me, most of all were not still eating millets. Today, at least all the health conscious people have introduced it in their homes, or thrice a week, maybe 4 times a week, maybe even once, but it has been introduced. We know that if we have to replace our atta by jowar, it is the best way to do for a diabetic, for example. We know that today there is something called, wheat ki variety sabko pata hai, jo the oldest wheat variety hai. Rest are all hybrids and they've all come from some other part of the world. Do you know the ancient varieties of wheat which we have today? There are at least a dozen of them. One of the most popular ones, which are supposed to be for diabetics with low GI index, is called khapli. How many of you have heard of khapli? Acha, you haven't heard of khapli yet. You have, right? So khapli is today touted as a pro-diabetic wheat. Do you know there is a rice variety? Rice has always been seen, nahi, diabetics ko nahi khana chahiye, sugar create karta hai, bahut high GI index hai. Do you know of a variety of rice which comes from UP, from a place called Siddharth Nagar? Yesterday was Buddh Purnima, from a place called Siddharth Nagar, and it is GI tagged. Do you know the name of the rice? No, it's not black rice. Black rice comes from Manipur, right? It is literally translated as black rice. It's called kala namak. Black rice, nahi, kala, kala salt rice. It is not kala. Okay, it's white. But it's supposed to be very low on GI index. And there are such rice varieties in India which are actually curative, including a very popular red rice in Nawara rice, right? You've heard of that in Kerala. So this movement is all about understanding the diversity and how these foods have everything for the underprivileged. Now I'm coming to the underprivileged. Millets was always their staple food. Yeah. Right? Most environment friendly staple food supposed to be had in a certain manner. Otherwise it's not healthy as per Ayurveda because it's very drying. Okay. So moringa. We think moringa is a rich man's food. We buy a packet today of 600 rupees and 700 rupees. Moringa is available anywhere and everywhere out there, which the underprivileged can have. We have actually recommended to the government that please get people to have moringa. They are, iron deficiencies, your calcium deficiencies, your amino acid deficiencies, all can be solved by moringa. Kadi ka patta, amazing. So आपने जो बोला ना, in India today, when somebody comes from a village and sits with me, and I see them eating food in the city, I said, आप लोग पता है क्या छोड़ के आए हो अपने गांव में? आपके पास जो खाना है वो हमारे यहाँ नहीं है. The richness of foods which they had out there in the rural part of India, it does not exist. Our underprivileged in their villages are taken care of far better than the underprivileged migrants who come and live in the city and they eat all that chemical food, which is absolutely unhealthy. Make sense? Yeah? So sometimes I have to teach my village woman who comes from my help, hey, eat what you used to eat in the village. Don't leave that behind. Because what you were getting there is far better than what you would ever get in the city.
That's extremely true because when you were mentioning crops and everything, I remember talking to my dad like a day before yesterday, and both my parents are diabetic, by the way. So they replaced rice. They eat samak. Samak is something that in Punjabi households, because I'm a Punjabi, we make it in Navratri, the vrats we keep now. So it's very good for diabetes, and I did not know that. I found out last week. And it's a great thing that we are replacing and understanding more about our Ayurveda and our sciences and our culture. Because when we go back to the villages in Punjab, they're all having it already. Even makka ki roti is so much better than normal plain wheat that we have now. Well, for my next question, because we discussed this also earlier about education and how it's so important in understanding all these things, because getting all this information right now, we are getting educated as we are speaking. But education on a very grassroots level is so, so important. And how do you help navigate that and, reach so many people to understand as to what's important and what's not in the holistic living space?
So I think this question can be answered at many levels. So one is, of course, the communities themselves educate their own people, they add on more people, they spread the word. Once you have a move, it happens. There is one experiment which we did in the last 3 years, which I wanted to share with the August audience. We actually created hyper-local markets inside colonies. अच्छा, पीपल थिंक कि मैं ऑर्गेनिक खरीद रहा हूँ या मैं कुछ ये सो एंड सो खरीद रहा हूँ ऑनलाइन तो वो सही नहीं होगा, या मैं किसी बड़े ब्रांड से ले रहा हूँ वो तो हो सकता है कि नकली है, वी कांट ट्रस्ट दिस. लेकिन जब लोग के पास एक फार्मर खुद आता है, बोलता है मैंने उगाया है इसे एंड आई एम अवेलेबल टू यू राइट नाउ एंड एनी पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, then the trust starts to build, the relationship starts to build, and then you start changing your way of thinking about that food. So we created 100 farmers markets in 100 colonies of Gurgaon. आप लोग सब clap कर सकते हैं. It's a big feat, by the way. It was completely not for profit. It was done to give the residents of Gurgaon the first taste of what was eating organic, what was eating local, diverse, traditional, healthy. Before that, they had no clue that this was, available. And we had agripreneurs, young agripreneurs who had just started. I remember this girl, her brand is called Dory. You can go and see it on the net. She used to have just 2. Sorry, you were saying something? Dory, you know, right? Correct. No, Dory is not basically honey. She uses jaggery. वो jaggery लेके आती थी और jaggery के वो rose के साथ उसको चाय बनाती थी. उसके अंदर she kind of made lots of
infused
nice, interesting.
teas.
Yeah. So she used to carry just 2 things in the market. Today she has probably about 40 products. At that time, she probably had a turnover of, I've never asked her this question, she probably had a turnover of 1 lakh, 2 lakhs per year. Today, I think she must be hitting about 1.5, 2 CR at least. Right? And she started with our markets. So, इस पे तो ताली definitely होनी चाहिए. So, we are spawning an entire ecosystem of small entrepreneurs who are reaching out to people directly. So to your question that how do you really make it accessible, this is the way to make it accessible. Let people feel, experience, see, try, and then connect. And then start to see the difference in themselves. So it becomes a mass movement in itself. I can safely say A2 Billona ghee, the time when we started our programs, A2 Billona ghee was not known by anyone. People used to shun it. Today, after doing that program for just about 6 months to 1 year, we started getting, not we, as in our farmers started getting orders of A2 Billona ghee from right across the globe. It became such a popular name that हमें ये लेना है ghee. And it is one of the healthiest, forms of good fat.
Because there is so much awareness as now, because 100 is a very astonishing number. When I heard that you've set up 100 markets, this was great, because it was so much community empowerment first, then help for the farmers, then there's a lot of organic reach. But in the urban population, still in Gurgaon or in any other bigger cities, we would still see people being a little skeptical, because the world is so dominated by pharmaceuticals and the Western medicine. Going forward, what is one advice? What would you give for them to move from a little mainstream to understand these basic level sciences and inculcate them in their lives? One advice.
I think simply बच्चों से तो शुरू करना ही चाहिए. I think we need to go at the school level. When it comes to nutrition, when it comes to diversity, the richness of India. I think India may, any of you have done the Art of Living program? Oh, you're a teacher too. Great, awesome. So if you've done it, there is once or twice in a year that in the ashram we create this, it's called Anna, I don't remember the first, I don't know if you remember. Just after that Govardhan Puja, na, Gujarat में जो होता है, Anna Prashan अलग होता है. This is Annakut, I think it's called. Annakut, right? अन्नकूट के अंदर they sometimes have 5,000 diverse varieties of foods out there. हमारी दुनिया में इतने नहीं हैं जितने हमारे देश में हैं. And our children are bereft of that. Children only understand pizza and burgers and chole bhature or whatever. You know all what I'm talking about. They can't think beyond that. हमारे देश में जो डाइवर्सिटी है फूड को लेके उसी को आप इंट्रोड्यूस करो ना बच्चों से. एंड लेट मी टेल यू ऑलमोस्ट ऑल ऑफ देम आर सो जस्ट अ स्मॉल एग्जांपल आई वांटेड टू शेयर. I had gone to this program the other day and I fell a little ill, maybe because of the water there and the dust and all that. And रात को बहुत ज़्यादा ज़ुकाम हो गया. My nose was flowing. So I told somebody from my team, I said कि आप लोग जाके मेरे लिए ना जलेबी ले आओ. दिल कर रहा था जलेबी खाने का. They said what? I said नहीं please लेके आओ, मेरा request है, बीमार पड़ी हूँ ले आओ. So they brought the jalebi and they gave me one piece. They said we'll not give you more of it because you're unwell. I said do you know how healthy jalebi is? If it's made the right way, of course. In olden days, they used to ghee mein jalebi bana ke, they used to dip it in milk and have it.
Milk and have it.
And it's extremely good for your cold and all your. Is that right?
Right.
You know that. She's
Right.
a Punjabi, so she would know.
Yeah.
So coming back, that it has to start with children. You want to really build a grassroots movement to make people understand what is the richness of foods and why it should be eaten in this way. I really think this is really the starting point.
Yeah, I completely agree, but now we are out of time because the buzzer has rang. I will quickly wind up with the last question I wanted to ask, because of course we look ahead, and because initiatives like this are growing forward, I wanted to ask what are your next top priorities and how moving forward you're going to grow it.
I think we are not the only ones doing this movement. There is Sattvic movement, which has become very popular. There is WellCure. They have run lots of very good programs. There are multiple movements going across India. Art of Living has several movements. You want a question? Okay. So there's a whole lot of such movements going on. You'll be all very happy to know that there's a lady called Barbara O'Neill. How many of you have heard of Barbara O'Neill? New. You know about her. So she's going to be in Delhi for the first time tomorrow, starting tomorrow. I think she's already landed in India. And she has, interestingly, वो अगर आप उसका वो पढ़ेंगे कि क्या क्या बताती है करने के लिए, उसमें at least कुछ ऐसा होगा जो आपको पता होगा थोड़ा बहुत. For example, oil pulling. She really promotes oil pulling. Oil pulling is part of the Dincharya of Ayurveda, right? So to answer your question, in a short manner, my whole focus is going to be increase education. We don't know enough about Ayurveda. We don't know about Dincharya. We don't know about Ritucharya. We don't know how to detox ourselves. And all this science exists in India in plenty. We don't know Siddha. We don't know Unani systems. We don't know so many systems of preventive and medicinal therapies. And just to give a simple example, during COVID, since we talked about what will be my future plans, future plan is really to bring all these therapies on one platform and let people be educated with them and empower themselves with this knowledge. I wanted to end with one last example. During COVID, when people were really going through a very tough time and struggling for oxygen cylinders, etc., my parents' help fell ill. ये सुनने वाली बात है. My parents' help fell ill, and the parents are old. I panicked, and she started having breathlessness. So I started calling up hospitals to put her in the hospital. Then my Ayurveda doctor said, "You take Shwas Chintamani Ras," because she was feeling breathless. Her oxygen had dropped. Just give her a tablet of Shwas Chintamani Ras and Mahalakshmi Vilas Ras. These two. These are Rasa Shastra Ayurvedic medicines. I gave her just one dose of both of them. I, of course, bought them. They're expensive because they're gold-based. She just had one each. She was absolutely fine in less than 24 hours. And that's the power of our ancient alternative sciences. I'm also a Marma therapist, and I know the magic it can do. Thank
Well,
you.
that's
Thank you.
incredible. Thank you so much, everybody. This was amazing. I think everybody learned something today, right? Yeah, at least we know Moringa now. Thank you so much, ma'am.